Hey dolls, Valentine's Day 2017 Slay happening in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to start off with the Tarte Cosmetics Brighter Days Moisturizer, and I'm just going to be putting this all over my skin to help prep for my foundation. Next, I'm going to be trying the Hourglass Veil Primer. Unfortunately, I did put on way too much because I pumped out too much, but there was no way for me to put it back, so I figured, might as well just smother it all over my face. So far, I like this primer, but I felt like it gave me a very flashback look. Of course, it was all covered once I applied foundation. For foundation, I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation in the shade Soft Beige, and I'm just going to be striping this all over my face for a very full coverage finish. Nothing new here. I'm going to be taking a damp beauty blender to blend all the foundation into my skin. I am also going to be making sure that I bring it below my jawline just so that it doesn't look uneven. Next, I'm going to be taking one of my all-time favorite products, the Tarte Cosmetics Shape Tape in the shade Light. I am going to be using this concealer to conceal and highlight at the very same time. I'm just making sure to run a little bit down the bridge of my nose, some on my forehead and some on my chin, and just going to blend this all in once again with the same beauty blender. And then I'm going to be taking the RCMA No Color Powder, and I'm going to be baking these areas. Once I let these areas bake, I'm going to take that time to carve out my brows and conceal any of the discoloration and also prep at the same time for my eyeshadow. So I'm just going to be blending that in and again setting it with the RCMA No Color Powder. The next step is not necessary, but I feel like it made the biggest difference in how my foundation ended up looking. So I'm just going to be setting my entire face with the Makeup Forever powder foundation, and I'm also going to be using it to swipe off some of the excess RCMA powder. To contour, I'm going to be taking the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit, and I'm going to be applying this onto my cheekbones, my forehead, and my jawline. Aside from this, I do have to stop and put some of the Pure Cosmetics Agave Oil because I was a little chapped. Now to highlight, I'm going to be taking the Tarte Cosmetics Skin Twinkle Lighting Palette Volume 2 and putting that on the high points of my face. Of course, I'm going to set it all together, but today I'm going to be using the Pixie by Petra Glow Mist. At first I was a little skeptical because it has oil, but I absolutely love this stuff. Up next for the eyes, I'm going to be taking Lynn from the Meet Matrimony The Balm Palette, and I'm going to be putting that all over my lid. Next, I'm going to be putting Thomas just in my crease to use that as my transition color. So just make sure you swipe this back and forth until it's fully blended out. I'm then going to pick up the shade Kumar on a blending brush, and I'm going to slowly increase the intensity into the crease of my eye. After I'm done blending all of this out, I'm going to pick up the shade Reed on a flat sheeter brush, and I'm going to apply that to the outskirts of my eye. I will be going back in with the same blending brush and making sure I have no harsh lines. Once that's blended out, I'm going to just slightly sweep through my crease, and then I'm going to pick up the shade Thomas, and I'm going to add that into the inner corner of my eye, and I'm going to make sure that it seamlessly blends into Reed. To add some sparkle into the look, I'm going to be taking a wet shader brush, and I'm going to be applying some of the MAKEUPGEEK Halo Sparkler onto the area where I applied the Thomas eyeshadow. In pats, I'm going to be spraying my eye with some setting spray and then going back in with the sparkler just to make sure that it actually sticks to my eye. To smoke out the bottom lash line, I'm going to be taking the shade Kumar and just, of course, smoking it out. I want the eyes to pop a little more, so I'm going to be running the MAKEUPGEEK eye pencil in the shade Nude on my waterline. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Triple Threat Mascara from Pure Cosmetics. I'm obsessed with this mascara right now. It's seriously the best. Anyways, you guys can totally leave the look with just mascara. You know I can't. So I'm going to be adding some of Black Magic Lashes in the style Taboo. These actually come out on Valentine's Day, so if you like how these look, make sure to pick some up. Honestly, wish it was this easy to get ready. You just move your mirror. Of course, things aren't like that. But anyways, let's move on to lips. I'm going to be taking the Gerard Cosmetics new lip pencil in the shade Sugar and Spice. This is the perfect match for the Makeup Forever Artist Liquid Lipstick in the shade 203. Both of these formulas have got to be one of my go-tos. The Makeup Forever lipsticks are so comfortable, and the Gerard Cosmetics lip pencils glide on like butter. Okay, that completes our Valentine's Day look. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all your love and support. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and happy Valentine's Day.